center torso was open. And tabletop, when I last played tabletop, falling down with an open center torso like that in water, automatic dead mech. And I think I have enough inspiration to do a precision strike again. Ammo explosion. And we're done. Good mission. Nice, easy second mission. I don't even think the mechs took a round of incoming fire. I do not want any of the mechs. Although random will probably give me a few of them. I do want to start collecting some machine guns. Let's see what else we get. We got a flea. We got the other medium laser, and we got some machine gun small lasers. Not great, but not bad for second mission loot. Alright everybody, gather round. After our last talk, I bit the bullet and started fishing around for uncertified contracts, and I might have caught us something. Who's the client? Unknown. She didn't ID herself in the message, but she claims to be a member of the Canopian elite. She says she's got a big job lined up and she wants us for it. Us specifically. She called the commander out by name. How would she even know about us in the first place? It isn't like we're drowning in publicity. Good question, and I'm betting we don't have an answer. You're certain this client isn't really a bounty hunter? Because I can list off about 5 different banks that all would love to repossess this ship. We're shopping for uncertified contracts behind the review board's back, Yang. Hell no, I'm not certain. But for what it's worth, I can confirm that she's rich. She reached out to us with a priority HPG message, and those things ain't cheap. Rich is good. I like rich. So do I, and the fact of the matter is, we're hemorrhaging in sea bills out here. It's worth the risk. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Our new client vents us out the airlock, and our corpses spend the rest of forever tumbling through the icy vastness of space? Thanks for that delightful image, Yang. Look, Dejectano, I'll admit this is sketchy as hell, but it's also the best lead we're likely to find. If you want to follow up, plot a course to Bellerophon. The client will be waiting. The contract to meet with our Canopian mystery client is ready for review in the command center. Take a look at it when you're ready, Commander. Our mech warriors have picked up a fair amount of combat experience over these last few drops. Head to the barracks to review their dossiers and direct their training. And don't forget you can check on the state of our finances from the terminal in your captain's quarters. If you ever want to change your mercenary company's name or symbol, you can do that from there too. Wild Max Mad Dogs, we already did that. We already changed our colors. Let's hit the mech bay. Make sure we don't have anything that needs to go in repair that's not already in repair. Our only contracts are travel contracts. So we might as well in the story arc. So we might as well do the story arc mission. Mr. Oliveira, thank you for honoring my request to a meet. I am Anna Maria Centrella. You have heard of my family name, I'm sure. Lady Centrella, this is a surprise. I wouldn't expect a member of the Canopian royal family to even know who we are, let alone approach us in such a non-traditional manner. This isn't a traditional contract, and I don't need Comstar asking questions. Besides, There's no reason to involve the mercenary review board. I already know that I want to hire you. Have I piqued your interest, Commander Oassum? Certainly, Lady Centrella, we wouldn't be here if you hadn't. I'm pleased to hear it. The job I have for you is a relatively simple one. I need you to recover something for me, and I need it done quietly. In exchange for your services, I will pay down the interest on your rather sizable loans and buy you the breathing room you've been looking for. How do you know about... You know what? It doesn't matter. Just tell us what we're supposed to be recovering. This. Lady Centralla's image is replaced by the screen by a grainy photograph of an enormous grounded dropship. Ramshackle structures cling to it like barnacles. She's a derelict vessel, an Argo, one of only two ever made. For over 200 years she's been lying in state on Axelis, a pirate moon in the heart of the frontier. I want her, and you're going to bring her to me. Yeah, and how exactly are we supposed to do that? I mean, that's a big ship, and she looks half cannibalized for parts. Look, you can see her ribs in the photo. I'm as enthusiastic about money as the next guy, but I'm a mech tech, not an aerospace engineer. I'll be damned if I can get that thing to fly again. Relax, Mr. Vertanen. I have an engineering staff on hand to attend to the Argo. Their leader, Dr. Farah Murad, has built quite a bit of reputation for herself in the frontier. You'll find a jump ship waiting for you at Alloway. It will carry you to the pirate moon, where you'll clear a path to the crash site. Dr. Murad and her team will go to work on the derelict, and you will protect them until the work is done. This should be well within your capabilities, Commander Oassum, unless I've come to the wrong company, of course. Frontier freelancer. You don't work on the frontier without learning how to deal with pirates. We can handle the job, no sweat. Then I can see no reason why you shouldn't accept my offer. Do the job well enough, and there'll be more work waiting for you upon your return. Mr. Oliveira will never find you a better opportunity than the one that I'm offering. Commander Oassum, I can promise you that. She isn't wrong, Dejectano. We're looking for a lifeline, and I think this is as close as we're going to get. Okay, you've got yourself some mercs. Very good. I'll forward your contract to Mr. Oliveira. Your reputation as a freelancer is well known within the Magistry, Commander Wassam. I hope that you live up to it. The contract for Lady Central's derelict recovery job is ready for you in Review and Command Center. We should follow up when you think we're ready. I'm trying to run through my head on mechs that we have. Blackjack Vindicator. Yes, we can do with all of the mechs. We can handle that. And we got to travel anyways, so we might as well do the priority mission. Good, we don't have any repair work left to do. Extension, banging noises draw you to the shared mech warriors barracks, where you find Behemoth disassembling one of the leopard's internal walls. There are already several panels neatly stacked beside her. She pauses and explains, there's a few cubic meters of dead space back here. I'm making room so that we can stretch without hitting the bunks. As reasonable as this sounds, the banks aren't going to like you modifying their property. Unfortunately, it randomized, and we don't have Behemoth. They gave us Behemoth for this, and she doesn't have the right property for doing Technician. We'll set the money aside to pay the fine. You look Behemoth in the eye. You know the chain of command, how the chain of command works. You have to clear changes like this before you start. She shrugs. Well, can I? You look over Behemoth's work. It's cleanly done with no hazards. Take a break until I make a decision. During a chat with Darius, you compare the cost of the finds to the benefit for the mech warriors and decide it's worth it. You lose 20,000 and morale is increased by 1. And as far as the financial report goes, uh, the thing that's important is that each one of these dashes is a month that you currently have budget for. So we're just going to go ahead and go to next. Leave the morale at bonus at normal. Yep, leave it at normal. And actually, we'll go generous for this one and hit accept. We'll see how long we can leave it at generous. We've arrived. Proceed. Commander, I'm setting course for Lady Centrella's jump ship. It's strange, though. This moon it's taking to, Axelis, doesn't show up on any of my maps, which leads me to wonder where exactly are we going and how do they intend to get us there. Several hours later. That was one hell of a rough ride. My stomach is still doing somersaults. That's because those crazy bastards use a pirate jump point to get us here. If we suffer a misjump, a sour stomach would be the least of your concerns. The leopard could have gotten irreparably mangled. Hell, we could have been irreparably mangled. The cautionary holobuilds they showed us at the academy were the stuff of nightmares. And I'm going to mouse over the pirate jump point and leave it up for just a second. When exactly did you realize what Centrella's jump ship crew was planning on doing? As we were making our approach to dock with the jump ship, it was way out of position to use any legitimate jump point. Putting two and two together, I could guess what they were going to do. And you didn't tell us before we jumped? Because it wouldn't have mattered if we had. We couldn't afford to turn down this job, and given the situation, I figured that ignorance was probably bliss. We'll talk about this later, Mayor. But for now, what's done is done. We're here, and there's money to be made. Let's focus on the task at hand. The Argos crash site is here, smack dab in the middle of a pirate stronghold. The ship, the stronghold, and everything around it belong to a self-styled bandit queen called Grim Sybil. Her gang is the closest thing that Axelis has to a ruling council. Grim Sybil? Is that supposed to sound scary? It sounds like some kind of name you choose out of a hat. What do their defenses look like? They're patchy at best. I don't think that Axelis gets a lot of visitors. They have strong anti-air cover, but little in the way of ground-based defenses. I'm seeing a lot of vehicles, but battle mech activity looks light. Defines light. I can't put an exact number on it. All I have are surface scans to go on. From what data I do have, I'd expect the pirates to be able to field the full lance of light battle mechs, all of them in poor repair. There are mixed reports of something bigger. That'll be Grim Sybil's mech. I don't have any information on tonnage or armament, but given the shape that everything else is in on Axelis, I imagine it being held together with chewing gum and baling wire. What else do you have on Grim Sybil? Never heard of her before. Yeah, I hadn't either. Centrella's intel says that Grim Sybil mostly stays put on Axelis, but she's got at least a dozen pirate gangs operating under her banner, so she must have something going for her. Sybil's bio is pretty sparse. There isn't a lot of meat here. Just a note that she came up under Lady Paula Trevelin, the pirate queen of the Tortuga Dominions. I guess that's impressive, having a personal connection to Lady Death and all. Lady Death? Really? I swear, man, these pirate names are killing me. Are mech warrior call signs really any better? Let me think about that one, boss. Wild Mac? No, no, I guess they're not. Very clever, wise ass. Now knock it off. Darius, is there anything else worth mentioning in that file, or can we get back to talking about the mission? Well, it looks like Trevelyan and Sybil had a falling out. That's not terribly surprising given the Pirate Queen's track record. Sybil managed to survive somehow. Good on her, and she's been living on Axelis ever since. The rest of the report is just a rap sheet. Apparently, our bandit queen has racked up an astonishing number of kills over the years, mostly against merchants and freighter crews, but kills all the same. She likes to get her hands dirty, and she knows her way around a battle mech, and that's all I've got. Excuse me. So the pirates have vehicles and turrets, maybe a few battle mechs. Got it. Keep going. The entire structure is surrounded by radar-guided anti-aircraft guns. Your first task will be to take down the radar towers so that Sumair can approach the derelict. After you've secured the crash site, she'll dock with the Argo and drop off the engineering team. And then they'll miraculously get a 200-year-old wreck flying again. Lady Centrella has bet a massive stack of sea bills that they will. For what it's worth, I believe that her chief engineer can pull this off. I'd never heard of Dr. Farah Murad before Lady Centrella mentioned her, but I did some digging after our meeting and she was telling the truth. The doc has quite a reputation. Supposed to be some kind of frontier engineering wonder kid, and a genius at bringing dead ships back to life. I guess we'll find out, won't we? For better or worse, yes we will. I'll leave you to it, Djactano. Good hunting on the moon's surface. I'll be keeping an eye on you from up here. Alright, here we go. Dark Splinter 82 and the raid. Welcome to the stream. Glad to see y'all. Alright, let's drop out Medusa. Bring in Wild Mac. Yep. Get things in the right order. Spider, Blackjack, Decker, Wild Mac. And hit deploy. Hope everyone's having a great weekend this weekend. They had a good week. It's the weekend now. The weekend has started. It is after hours. Come on. Preparing for combat is enough already. Let's go. There we go. Welcome to Axelis, Commander. It's every bit as charming as you'd expect a pirate-occupied moon to be. You'll find Grim Sybil's radar stations just ahead. Defenses appear to be limited to turrets and ground vehicles, for the time being at least. We know that Grim Sybil has at least one lance of battle mechs, so be ready for anything. Be careful of the pirate turrets as you make your way to the base. They pack a nasty punch, and they can also sensor lock your mechs. Aim for the turret generator. That'll be the fastest way to neutralize. After the pirates' radar stations are down, you'll be clear to proceed to the Argo. Good hunting, Commander. Knock out the radar cover, crash any pirate resistance, and secure us that derelict. That's exactly what we're going to do. First things first, let's take down turret generators. Yeah, you can brace. Sprint.